Do you want me to talk about those guys for a minute? Because actually it's a funny story. How we met those guys. They actually, Dale, the singer, and Kyle, the drummer, actually drove for us on our tour a long time, like a few summers. Last summer? Last summer? Last summer. Was that right? I think so. Time is weird. They drove for us. They were our drivers. And we didn't even know they were really in a band. We didn't really know that. And then I think Josh found out, and then he was sitting by Dale, the singer, while he was driving. And he was like looking on social media. I was like, did you just drop a single like today? And I was like, oh yeah, we did. I was like, dude, why didn't you tell me it's good? And so fast forward, and now they're on our tour. I do that sometimes. It gets on people's nerves. Are there any other people who mom people that is not like calm down, guys. Sometimes you get on people's nerves. Okay. So, sorry. Sometimes they like it. Like, please be my mom. So we have 2 more songs. I have a question for you guys, okay? Is anybody, okay, I'm gonna take my thing so I can hear you. So, if I've been to shows before where I wanted them to play the one song that I loved so much and they didn't do it, and I was so sad. They didn't even play my song. So I just want to ask, is there apologize to all of you already because you're not doing any of those songs. I'm very sorry. Please forgive me. Maybe some other day. You know, life's crazy. I never know where I'm going to end up. I didn't know I'd be here tonight. It's brand new, this idea like that we would tour without Josh. Josh is my husband. He's always been with me for 16 years, 17 years. So I've been on the road with Josh for 17 years. And he just doesn't like touring. Found out like last year. So you know, because we're both trying to like love each other, and so it's really funny because he's like, I really don't want to do that anymore. And I was like, well, that's okay. And he's like, but I want you to do it. And I was like, but you're not going to be there. And he's like, we have to get a different guitar player. Does that offend you? And I'm like, well, does that offend you? No, I'm so happy. So actually, Chris came out with this for a little while before. Chris is my guitar. Chris is in a band called Sturm. He plays for Jim Ledger sometimes. He's a cool dude, friend of ours for a long time. And so he came out because Evan drilled a hole through his finger and couldn't play guitar. Not that long ago, so he's healed up now. Now Chris is on bass. And usually Chrislyn is playing the drums for us, but Johnny came out because she needed to go home, so you guys give it for Johnny. Amazing. Guy's son. Nate, what's up, Nate? the native. I love those guys. Okay. And so that was a long story. That had my mother in it.
Love it.
Okay, how many guys appreciated Islanders show? They're so funny. I never know what they're gonna say. They're just such alive people, full of life. Yep. Okay, and so we have 2 more songs, and one person did say, okay, the last question, and I'll stop talking. I'm sorry to talk so much. I'm about to actually talk a lot after this question. Probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay. So how many people here have ever heard me heard me talk about the story behind All Around Me? No? How many people have never heard me talk about the story behind All Around Me? Okay. Seriously, I told this story like 1,000 times. How many people here have ever seen Buddy play? Or how many people have seen this like solo project before Lacey Sturm live? That's cool. Well, thanks for coming out tonight. It's gonna be tell about the story behind All Around Me because I wouldn't be alive. And I don't know why I made it out of this experience because I know some people don't. I know some people that haven't made out of this experience. And I don't know why, except that I'm supposed to tell the story sometimes. Okay? So that's why I want to tell you. I feel a responsibility to, because I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. And I think maybe a lot of people here maybe know what it's like to have been through something and you shouldn't be here, but you're they here know that they shouldn't be here, but they're still here. That's a gift. Not many people have that gift to know that each day is a gift. I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't feel like it was a gift to wake up in the morning. I felt like it was a curse. I thought I didn't ask to be born, and I was a little offended by the fact that I was here. So when I was 16, I hated myself. I hated people. I hated God. If you talk to me about God, I hated you more than everybody. I thought it was bad to tell people about God because it's like telling them to sit in a broken chair. It's not gonna hold you up. It's not gonna be there for you. You know, I felt like it was wrong, and also I felt like it was a way to control people. When I was little, I believed my mom was a teen mom. She was 15 when she had my brother, 16 when she had me, and she had eventually there were 6 of us, and still no father around, and we struggled, you know. And I was this really annoying kid who always asked too many questions, and I was like, okay, I'm 43. So back in that time, they had food stamps, which was a paper. I don't know. And it's like $1 you could like give. And so she would give our food stamps to the babysitter, and I'm like, well, Mom, what are we gonna eat? She'd be like, shut up, God will take care of us. And then we would, you know, didn't have cell phones back then. Y'all are all sad for me. Actually, it's way better. I lose my cell phone sometimes, or guys, I'm like, oh, so much better. Thank God. Anyway, so we didn't have cell phones, so if our car broke down, which was always a random car that, you know, was not that great, just break down, we'd have to get out and walk on the side of the road, try to find a gas station or something or whatever. And I'm like, Mom, what are we gonna do? We're in the middle of nowhere. We don't have any money. And she's like, shut up. God will feed us. He'll take care of us. He'll send someone to help us. You know, Mr. Rogers really was influential in my mom's life, and he taught her to look for the helpers. When they're in trouble, look for the helpers. she like, that was really cool. So she's like, somebody will help us. And then somebody would help us. And they would open their house up when we didn't have, you know, the rent, and we didn't have nowhere to go. We'd sleep on their floor, and there'd be a pot, you know, of food that we could eat. It was always taken care of, right? So I believed when I was little. And I saw this. And then when I was 10 years old, my cousin, who was 3, he was the same age as my little brother, who was 3. His mom was a teen mom. She lived with us. So that was my aunt, cousin. His name was Hilton. And she got married to this man and moved out of the house, and shortly after that, he beat my cousin to death. And I remember thinking, how could they thought God was going to take care of us, like what happened then. And I remember realizing I didn't want to believe in a God who could watch that happen and like do nothing about it. So I decided not to believe anymore. And so I also decided that it was wrong to be happy in a world that stuff like that happens. So I made a decision to stay sad. And I thought about sad things and I wrote down all the sad stuff that I saw, like mean things people would say to me, or, you know, sad things to think about at night so I could cry myself to sleep at night. That was my ritual. And so I taught myself to be addicted to sadness, to be depressed. And so that was my like thing. And also, if you told me something was a sin, then I wasn't gonna go do it because you're not gonna control me, right? So I would just go dead in there. And now I realize, you know, I understand that the concept of sin is always, it's just like dead. And it's like this idea of like, you know, we know there's physical laws that will probably kill you. You know, walking from a bus or jumping off a building, maybe. You know, like physical law like gravity can kill you, or I don't know. Like physical things we know. And then there's also mental things that could cause you to like mentally die, I don't know. Like, I don't know, just, you know what I'm saying? And then there's like spiritual things that also kill you. And we don't recognize those things. They're harder to see. And so like this is the concept of like sin is this concept. So the more, it's so funny, it's like the more I dove into those things, the deader I felt inside. Deader, until I just went on my outside and mashed my inside. And I made this plan to take my life. And I couldn't find a good, selfless reason. It just felt, because I love my brothers and sisters. There were 4 under me I took care of, and I didn't want to leave them. And that's really important, you know? I mean, obviously, if that's the thing that's holding you, it's really a good reason, you know, the loved ones. But then, eventually they were taken care of pretty well, and I got in this fight with my grandma. This argument. She was like, my grandpa was having this heart attack, and it's the 18th heart attack. He's like crazy. He's still alive. And she was really upset with me, and she was like, because I got kicked out of my house, was living with my grandma, and she's like, you're getting in trouble at school, you're not obeying our rules, you're making all this chaos, and you're just making things harder, your grandpa's had this heart attack, and he's in the hospital, and you're not helping. And I'm, you know, and I'm thinking, oh, now I have a reason. Things would be better if I wasn't here. Which is a really stupid lie, because it would have made it 1,000 times worse if I had been around. But you can't see that when you're in the middle of it. The cloud that made sense to me was so powerful. It's like, oh, it'd be better without me. Now I found a selfish reason. So I made this plan to take my life and end my life. And the next day I had this sequence of experiences that led me to this moment where I ended up having, like, on that same day, this, I now know is like a near-death experience. I used to think that everybody who said they believe in God had this experience. Now I realize it's very unique. There's a lot like what people call near-death experience. I saw my whole life flash before my eyes. Okay, it was not flashing before my eyes. It's a bad way to say it. Because I think like there's a sequence, but there's not. It's just a present, because I was in eternity. There's no time, so it's all there. And I'm in front of God. It's terrifying, because I believe in God. And He's real. It's so real. It's real. So first thing I understood is that I was not a mistake. I thought I was a mistake. I was burdened, and then I'm out for deep. And I realized that I was on purpose by His God. Like He was giving me life. I knew that. You just know He's the source of your life. And He's the one giving us life, this days, all these things we get as gifts. It's like a gifting. We don't know how many gifts we get, how many days we get. That's not guaranteed to anybody. Not to the 3-year-old. How many days we get is not guaranteed. But we get them as a gift every breath. When you're struggling breathing, you know that breath is a gift. My grandma had COPD. She passed away, but her breath, like if her oxygen went off in the middle of the night, she wouldn't look up. Like, breath is a gift. We don't even have to think about it. Your heartbeat is a gift. It's on purpose. It's intentionally beating because God's allowed it. Like, I knew that my life was a gift, and that was scary because I never thought of it that way. I didn't think about like this body being a gift. I didn't think about it. I hated my body. I was really mean to my body. And like, this is like a gift. It's a living thing. It's art. Actually, he's an artist. It's his art. You're his art. And I just remember being really terrified by that because it was all done in love. And I was full of hatred. And I took this art that was meant to be filled with love, and I was full of hatred. And I knew, because I saw it my whole life, a lot of my time, most of my time was spent pointing my finger at other people and justifying myself. A lot of my conversations had to do with that. I saw that, and it was so ridiculous in that moment because all my hate was my own. So much was my own. I chose that hate. And realized, like, I just wanted to hide because God's perfect love, and I wanted to hide. But there's nowhere to hide because He's light. There's nothing. It's all there. And I think about that story where Adam's like, I hid because I was naked. I don't think he was like, I have clothes on. I don't know. I wasn't there. But like, I felt very naked. Like there's nothing. There's nowhere to hide. Because everything's present. It's eternity. You can't just like put it in your memory. It's present. And there's no, He's light. And He's love. And you realize like how, anyway. So it was scary. And I felt like I kept waiting for Him to send me to hell. Like, can you just send me to hell? Because with the demons that I'm used to, which I don't know what I was saying, but it felt like it would have been better than standing in front of this holy love that I was so far away from. Like my brain. That would have been less torturous, my brain. Like, can you just send me to hell? And I kept waiting for this feeling of Him condemning all these terrible things in me. And I never felt that from Him. Just straight love. And I was too good. You know, somebody does something good for you, and you go like, no, you can't buy my dinner, no, you can't get in your chair, no, blah, blah, blah. It's like, there's no number for how that feels. It's like, I love you. And you're like, no, how do I even receive that? It doesn't make sense. It's not just, it's like, isn't just love. I don't know if that makes sense. So, I remember coming out of that experience not having any idea why I was still alive. How did I answer it? I don't know. And I remember waking up the next morning and asking, I wasn't supposed to wake up today. And my plans were to not be awake today, and here I am. Why do you care about me? I was full of hate. Like, I was like, hated you. And all the people you love. Like, and I remember that there was just a drop of that love that was enough that I could handle it without being terrified. Like, when you look at the sun, you can't stare at the sun. It's like, you'll blind you. And that's what it felt like, is that much love is too much, but this drop was like, and I started crying. I'm like, why? And I went to school the next day, looked around at all the people I hated the day before, and realized, wow, like they're His art. Like something about the art says something about this artist. And I was fascinated with people after that. I wanted to know, what do you say? What is the song that you are? Like, I wanted to listen to all these songs. You know what I mean? Like, look at all His art and find out about it. And the cool thing is that He gives us freedom. And there's this synergy with God and us. He gives us freedom to because love honors your freedom. It doesn't force you. That's not love. It doesn't coerce you. It doesn't turn you into who He is. It's a salesman, right? He's not like that. He's like watching for your willingness, your freedom, right? And so we can use that freedom to look like fallen heavenly creatures that look like demons. Do that. That happened. We can do that. You have this freedom to choose. He wants free willing lovers. Sorry, I'm so tough. And so, but we can use that freedom. He says, this scripture says, don't use your freedom to indulge in like evil things that you can do, but use it to love one another from the genuine heart. That's what the freedom is for. Freedom is like, if you want to learn how to love like God, it's laying your life down for somebody, but you don't have to. You totally don't have to. Like, that's divine love. That's what God's like. And that's what this journey is. Like, why does anybody have a kid on purpose? Ideally, it's to love them. And to give their love to them. Teach them how to, love and, be good people. Be like, and this is why we're here. To learn that. And so, it's interesting because it's everywhere you look. He's, always giving us that message. I didn't have any eyes to see that. I didn't. And then after that day, I remember everything looked different. The colors in the different. The birds were like intentionally created by God, like in love, like spring is like a thing given to us. Like it's crazy. Or whoever gets you flowers, gotta get you spring. And it's like, wow, like, what is the love notes for everywhere?